Hello race fans, and welcome to this edition of Inside NARC. We are going to be talking to some drivers and some very important people about the upcoming fastest 4 days in motorsports. What that is going to look like, it'll kick off on Thursday, June 15th at Southern Oregon Speedway, then proceed to the Douglas County Dirt Track in Roseburg on Friday night. Saturday night, Willamette Speedway in Lebanon. And then on Sunday, Grays Harbor Raceway in Elma, Washington. Let's get the party started. Let's bring up our first guest. Well, I am on the phone with Jim Allen. And Jim, it's a really exciting part of this NARC 410 Sprint Car Series. We're going to have so much racing in such a short time span. And we're going to some really cool places here in the next week and a half.
Absolutely, man. I've been looking forward, and we've been planning for such a long time to do this fastest 4 days in motorsports. And, man, it's finally here. I mean, I was out loading up the RV today, and I got a whole lot of stuff down the road for all these races. But, talking to a bunch of people on the phone today, everybody from promoters to race car teams, and I mean, everybody is fired up for the proverbial fastest 4 days / road to the Dirt Cup.
It's really cool that this is connected with Dirt Cup because this hasn't really happened since, I guess, 2012, you could officially say, but there was sort of a formal thing put in place, I think 2010, 2011, but to bring this back and have it, have some connective tissue there, it is great. It's more bang for these teams' bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was how this thing happened. I mean, last year we had a fastest 4 days in motorsports, but it was a standalone event. And then later teams had to return up to Skagit Speedway. And of course, things you never plan on. We weren't planning on diesel costing $7 a gallon at the time. So our membership basically said, hey, we want to go, string them together. Let's make one long trip rather than two short trips. And people have pretty much, made it their vacation / racing adventure, whatever you want to call it. So, yep, one trip up north. And, like I said, the good news is, once we hit Southern Oregon Speedway, I mean, it's pretty much, 2-hour jumps from track to track to track. And it makes that travel a whole lot, let's just say friendlier.
Yes, absolutely friendlier. That's absolutely for sure. Southern Oregon Speedway will kick things off. Douglas County Dirt Track will be the second night. Willamette Speedway, Grays Harbor Raceway for those 4 races. New racetrack in NARC history, Douglas County Dirt Track on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You hear about a lot of dirt tracks that get paved, but you don't hear about any paved tracks that get dirted, I guess would be the terminology there. Brian Crockett and his team up there had a vision and at the Douglas County Fairgrounds, and they put some dirt on it last fall, which was great, and did some testing on it, and I guess it's really conducive to some good racing up there. So I'm excited to do that. Willamette the next night, we set a new track record there. I think almost half the field broke the old track record. And Grays Harbor, Bert Johnson, he's determined to have a fantastic racetrack there. And Trey Starks is already I think he's already predicting a win up there. He just loves racing there so much. So, like I said, it's a good string of events. And, we're, like I said, so sometimes this racing thing for me becomes a job, but I'm pretty excited about this.
Well, and what's really cool is all 4 of these racetracks normally don't compete with 410 sprint cars, really. And so it's really cool to see the Pacific Northwest and the NARC regulars kind of clash on some like wild card racetracks or neutral territory.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as this thing continues to build momentum, I think you might see, where you have the, Oregon and Washington guys, against the California, sort of maybe more like, the Outlaws against the Pennsylvania Posse. And, you're going to see a little bit of that, where, hey, we won, 3 out of the 4 races, and where you're Ryder Cup champions for the year, or so, we have bragging rights for a year, however that works out. And collectively, that was part of the whole idea anyway. And that was, once again, with Kevin Verdeen, Peter Murphy, Brad Sweet, and Brent Kaeding in the North Auto Racing Club, was that, we need to, make it a king of the West. We need to race on the West Coast so that more people invest in 410 sprint cars rather than, throwing all their money at 360s. And we give them enough racing events to do it. And, we're starting to see some new names pop up, people buying a motor here and a motor there, and that's good for our sport.
Yeah, it's absolutely so cool to see the growth, because I think, and don't quote me here, I think right now there's more 410 sprint car engines in the state of Oregon at one point in time than there really ever has been. And that's really good for 410 sprint car racing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and let's get down to really what the sport is about. I mean, there's some people that just go out and race to have fun. And then there's other racers who have, I don't know, shall we say, national plans that, they would love to go out there and race with, USAC or the All-Stars or the World of Outlaws. And, realistically, if you're really going to have a chance doing that, you're going to need to do it in a 410 sprint car. You're going to get so much more credibility racing against the studs that are, turning the wheel here in a 410 sprint car than, maybe in the 360s, and you'll get recognized more. So once again, it's great for the sport, and it's some baby steps. It took a while for, I don't know, say 410 sprint car racing to kind of went backwards for a few years. And, it's, sort of like losing weight, you're going to lose it. You gained it a couple pounds at a time. You're going to lose it a couple pounds at a time. So,
Sure.
It's all good.
Well, and speaking of some great stuff, this year's been so incredible. The Corey Day, Dominic Scelzi battle for the points championship, and Corey Day coming back from the Midwest, and he got third at Huset's on Sunday, and it was just from starting 15th. And you have Dominic, who is just so consistent and so good. I'm really looking forward to these 4 days. Only a handful of points separate those two, and very well, this fastest 4 days in motorsports could determine the championship.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I mean, we've had 8 races up to this point. We had 3 rainouts also, but with 8 races, I mean, we have 7 points races this month. Fastest 4 days. I mean, if you hypothetically get behind the 8 ball there, either one of those two guys, it's going to be really tough to make up that ground later on. And those two they continue to amaze. I mean, when Corey Day, started the season, and ripped off 3 quick victories. And I was going, oh my gosh, does he even have a peer in this sport? And, Dominic Scelzi continues to impress because he's found another gear and his team's got really focused. And then, he rips off 3 wins. And, I don't think that Corey's leading by 8 points. Yeah. And, the strange thing is, I mean, those two guys are rocking it. And then, we got Colby Copeland and Justyn Cox, who also won the main events. But, you got guys like Justin Sanders, who's usually good for, 4 or 5 victories every year. He's currently 3rd in points. And surprisingly, he hasn't been able to win because it has been just frantic up at the front of the pack.
Oh, it has. Well, he's going to Douglas County Dirt Track on Friday. He won there in a 360, so he and Tanner Holmes and Tyler Thompson are really the only guys with a major advantage, I think, as far as track time and racing time on there. But you got a guy like Justyn Cox who kind of grew up and cut his teeth. Albeit it was 360 racing in the Pacific Northwest. But it's going to be fun to see how it unfolds.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think I would be absolutely shocked if Justyn didn't win at least one of the 4 races up north. And same thing with Justyn Cox. I mean, he's getting really comfortable in the Bates Hamilton sprint car, and he's running closer and closer to the front. In addition to the Dennis Rock Classic win, and he is due or overdue or ready for more.
Well, Well, Trey Starks, you're going to be one of the drivers that's going to be defending some home turf with the fastest 4 days in motorsports. You won the NARC race at the Timber Cup at Grays Harbor Raceway in Elma, Washington last year, and no doubt it's going to be a tough task for all of these races, and it should be some great racing for you guys to test how you guys measure up.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to bring that little speed week back up through here. I remember watching it coming up through to Dirt Cup. It's kind of got the same feel for sure. It'll be cool to battle against some of the California and Oregon guys on kind of a middle ground. Some tracks that we get to run sometimes, but not a lot. And then to finish it off at Grays Harbor, I really enjoy racing there, especially in a 410. So I think it's going to be exciting.
No doubt. Heat races are going to be important, qualifying is going to be important, and getting in the Sunny Valley Bacon Dash is going to be massive for those events.
Yeah, definitely. Their format definitely rewards you for going forward in each event and qualifying well. So, our goal is to have smooth nights and good speed and end up at the front.
Yes, I had a chance to phone up and have a conversation with Dominic Scelzi, the two-time defending series champion and the two-time defending fastest 4 days in motorsports champion.
Yeah, I really like racing up there in Oregon. I've only been a couple times, but the racetracks they're just a little bit different from California. They're still bull rings, but most of the time they're pretty slick and wide, and I really enjoy going to all those places up there. I'm looking forward to getting back to Medford, obviously, because we won. But, Willamette was kind of one lane last year. It was a little bit too wet. I'm hoping that the weather is a little bit nicer and the racetrack gets a little bit wider and we can have a good race, because that track is absolutely beautiful. And then we're going to Douglas County, which is new for everybody, I think, except for Sanders, and then back up to Grays Harbor. So, every place that we're going to, really, we've run, I want to say, first or second at, over either, whether it be a NARC race or another kind of series. So I'm feeling pretty confident. I think we've had really good speed, and obviously going up to the Dirt Cup as well is going to be a lot of fun. I ran third last year, led some laps, and in 2021 we won the Dirt Cup. So I've got high expectations. I really hope that we can have good speed and be consistent every night. I think for the championship points, I think it's going to be very telling on how the outcome of the year is with how the rest of these 4 races go. It's 4 races back to back. It's 4 different racetracks, and I think if Corey or I have a really good weekend, you could put some distance in between the guy in second, or if you have a really bad weekend, it could pretty much be a championship ender. So I'm looking forward to that, and hoping we have a good week.
Well, joining me is Cole Macedo. And Cole, you've been a busy individual. You've been doing some high limit stuff, racing in the Midwest, in Ohio, and I thought I even saw you race in Michigan the other day as well. And in the middle of Ohio Speed Week, but you're going to be making it back on the West Coast with the fastest 4 days in motorsports here in a couple days.
Yeah. Super excited to get to Oregon and Washington. I haven't been there yet or raced there, let alone even seen the places. So super excited for some new tracks and a little bit of different environment, and hopefully we can have some good runs.
Is the game plan on your major travel day, where you got to get back from the Midwest back to California, going to be studying, looking at some video of some of these venues, or are you just going to kind of show up the day of and just roll with it, go in blind?
Oh yeah, I always every track I go to, usually on the way to the track, I watch 8 or 9 videos, whatever I can find, just to kind of see if there's a characteristic of the track that is always the same in qualifying. For instance, you go to somewhere like Tulare, it's like, well, you can always count on pretty much either ripping the top or diamond line 1 and 2 and ripping the top 3 and 4. Just try to figure some of that stuff out so I can, look out for that kind of stuff and, try to put my best foot forward when it comes to race time.
Now, I know we haven't had you with the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series, I think since the Peter Murphy Classic in Hanford, but since then you've been doing a lot of racing. Do you feel like you as a driver, you're in a good rhythm and you found some good speed because you've ran for a couple different cars since then?
Yeah, so I went through a stint there that just seemed like everything could go wrong, went wrong. If I either I made a mistake and wrecked, or guys are spinning out in front of me and I clobber them, or you never know. But yeah, it seemed like nothing was going my way, and this sport's all about confidence. So just been working these last couple races, just trying to build that back up, and had some solid finishes here the last couple nights with the All-Stars here during Speed Week. And yeah, I actually texted Drew the other day and told him I feel like I'm pretty confident, and I think I'm going to be ready to get back there and win some races. So yeah, man, it's just all, I've been racing a lot, and that could be a good thing, and it could be a bad thing, right? So lately it's been a bad thing. You don't really get a break to forget or learn from your mistakes. You kind of just go right back into the next night, and something bad may happen again, and just snowball, right? So but yeah, like I said, I got a lot of racing here. I think I got 7 days there in Oregon, between Oregon and Washington, and it's supposed to be 5 days here, but we're only going to get 4 in, it looks like. But yeah, it's I think that I'm pretty acclimated lately, and I've been racing a lot, so my muscle memory and everything is probably the best it's been. But yeah, some good solid finishes would really boost my confidence, and I think result in good finishes.
Me on the phone now is Chase Johnson, and Chase, you're getting ready for the fastest 4 days in motorsports, and some of these racetracks that are on the schedule you've been to before. It's been some time since you've been to these facilities, but no doubt I'm sure you're excited to get back into 410 racing in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great time. We missed out on this trip, the last couple of years that they've done it. And, with the Dirt Cup happening last year, and it's been pretty cool to see what they've made out of this trip and this adventure up to the Pacific Northwest. And I'm happy that I'm going to be headed up there this year. So it'll be cool to be a part of it. It'll be awesome to be going up there and running for Josh Ford Motorsports and, ripping the 73 around. So I'm really looking forward to it. We won't be in the familiar Pride Family Dealership. 24 will be in the Josh Ford Motorsports number 73. So a little bit change of scenery, but I think we'll be just as fast. And I'm looking forward to working and spending that time working with Jimmy May, the crew chief, with them. And he does a great job, and his cars are fast. And I have no worries, and how we'll do and how we'll perform will be just fine and dandy. And I think we'll be a good threat to win tonight, and hopefully come the finale of Dirt Cup, we are a threat to win and up front. So, yeah, it'll be a good time. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. And me and Jimmy we ran together before the past with midgets and non-wing cars, and I think I actually ran the 2020 Howard Kaeding Classic in the wing car with them. I think that's what year it was. So, all very close. We worked great together through the midgets and the non-wing stuff, so hopefully that can all carry over for the wing car stuff.
And any particular facility that you're really looking forward to on this trip? Maybe because of some past experience, or perhaps it's a new racetrack for you, like the Douglas County Dirt Track.
No, honestly, all of them are excellent tracks. I've been to Willamette, I've been to Medford, never been to Skagit, never been to Elma, and obviously never been to the new dirt track there in Roseburg. So looking forward to honestly all those. Medford was one of my favorite tracks that I ran up in the Pacific Northwest years ago when I ran the Speed Week up there. So that is an excellent facility. I love it. I'm looking forward to going back to there. And then, like I said, honestly, all the other tracks they're going to be new to me, and they look like great facilities and great race tracks, and it looks like they're going to race great for the Wing 410. So I'm looking forward to it, and then also finally getting to run some laps around Skagit. This will be my first ever trip to Skagit. So been there in person to just look at the track when I was up there for work one weekend, but yeah, looking forward to actually going to make some laps with Skagit. So heard a lot about it, and yeah, I think what NARC has done and what all the tracks up there in the Pacific Northwest have done to make this such a great event. And on top of that, going to great racetracks that'll provide some great racing. It'll be a good time.
Well, joining me on the phone, this is Justyn Cox. And Justyn, you've got a lot of experience here in the Pacific Northwest, and you've ran a lot of these racetracks that the Fastest 4 Days in Motorsports is going to. However, when it comes to 410 experience, you're making your debut with that engine at some of these places.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Obviously, going 360 to a 410, things are a little different inside the race car and whatnot, but still the tracks are the same. And I'm just looking forward to kind of a breath of fresh air. Going to the Northwest was always a place. I took my own team and also went with a few different teams as well, but we always go up there to kind of just enjoy racing again and have a nice little reset. And I don't necessarily need a reset or to enjoy racing again right now. I'm loving it more than ever, but it's just, I think, an added bonus to go there and just have a lot of fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking out a couple new places. Southern Oregon Speedway is not new to me, but it's definitely new since I've been there. I know they've done a lot of work to it. So it's going to be fun to kind of kick off the week there. And then Douglas is Roseburg, it's a whole new facility for us. So I think for everybody, really, besides maybe Justin Sanders. But yeah, so looking forward to it. And then obviously to get up to Skagit is always a great time. The Dirt Cup is an event like no other, and it's one of those really fun events just to be a part of as a driver. Anytime you have a crowd of that nature and event going on, just makes it a good time. And I'm buddying up and going golfing a few times with Jim Allen and my crew guys and my best bud Rusty Kruger, who is a crew chief over on the 83V team. So it's just going to be kind of a vacation added along with like a ton of racing. So you can't beat it. I think we should do pretty good. We're still trying to get some kinks worked out with qualifying, but once that's all done and we start qualifying a little better, I think we're going to be contending for some wins here, and no better way to do that than in the Northwest, where I've been able to pick up a few wins over the years.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's kind of like your adopted home up here a little bit. You've got a major following of fans. Yeah,
I've had decent success over the years. Fortunately, we're not going to Cottage Grove this year, but maybe one day. But I've ran the other places a lot too, and I've been going up there a lot since 2009 was my rookie year in a sprint car, and we ran the ASTS Northwest as our first kind of stint in racing. So the Northwest kind of adopted me at a young age, and I've just enjoyed it. I've always tried to be a good supporter of the speed weeks over the years there, and any of their big races, and it's just going to be cool. There's a lot of great faces. I only get to see it once a year, and hopefully I'll get to see them, and they'll come out and support the NARC racing. I think it's a treat for the Northwest to get a traveling 410 series go through, and hopefully people will come enjoy it. There's a lot of good names, and it's going to be a good, hefty field of cars every night, I believe. And yeah, it's going to be an awesome deal.
Well, Bud Kaeding is no stranger to coming up in the Pacific Northwest. Fastest 4 Days in Motorsports is just, a couple digits of hours away. And no doubt you and your whole race team are getting pretty excited to come back north of the California border.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like the weather's going to cooperate a little bit at the beginning, maybe not so much in the middle, but then looks like it might be finding up there toward the end of the trip. As far as the trip itself, it's something that's been a part of my life for a long time. Growing up, going up to Skagit with my dad. The end of the school year, beginning of the summer. That's pretty much where we started it. Lake Shasta for a week, and then hit Cottage Grove, and then headed up towards Skagit there for
for the Dirt Cup. So having the speed week here at the beginning of it, going to make it a little bit grueling, but we're looking forward to it, though. It's a lot of racing and a little time, but we're getting to watch all these people across the country do it on flow and dirt vision and all that. So I guess it's time to join the party.
Well, and you guys are getting in some pretty good form. Last couple of NARC 410 Sprint Series races, you guys have showed a lot of speed. And in the 360 competition last Friday at Watsonville, you guys looked really good too. You feel like you guys have kind of dialed yourself in and found some stuff?
I don't know really where to pinpoint it. If we're any better, everyone else is just having a couple bad nights, or things are just kind of falling our way. So, the last couple weeks, though, whether it was the 410 or the 360, I feel like we've been competitive. We're in a position, to win there last Friday night at Watsonville. I just made a mistake and thought that there was rubber on the bottom, started searching for it, and allowed Mitchell to jab by me, and then it just took me too much time to get rolling again on the top and get back up to him. But even the week before Placerville, I thought we were really good on Saturday. Just, probably stayed up on the top a little too long, and it did take rubber, and I lost a couple spots because of that. So, and then Petaluma, running second, just having solid nights and I'm timing in well. So, I don't know if I knew what it was. We'd have started doing it a long time ago. So, things are just kind of going our way and coming together and just having a good time with what we're doing right now. So hopefully we can carry that momentum through the next 10 days and put some positive and good results together on the road. And, it'd be nice to finally win in that NARC series again. It's been some time, which really eats at me, but to get myself and the 69 car back in NARC Victory Lane is definitely on the top of the priority list for me and my whole team to get handled this year. And I feel like we're making good steps to get back to do that. We're just kind of hopefully we keep marching in the same direction, and I think it'll happen.
Well, joining me now, it's Dylan Bloomfield. And Dylan, you're one of those young drivers, a part of the NARC 410 Sprint Series. You're going on the fastest 4 days in motorsports for the first time, and you're going to be seeing a lot of new racetracks in this upcoming week. Are you excited? Are you nervous? Or what are your feelings going into this week?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. A little bit nervous at the same time, but I'm excited to see all these new tracks and travel up to Oregon and Washington and stuff and go race. Cool race like Dirt Cup and all that. It'll be pretty fun. I've never raced for that much money before, so it'll be pretty cool to race for that much money. And definitely gonna be probably pretty nervous when we get there, and just knowing that's a new track and stuff. But I just gotta turn those nerves into some energy and go out there and gas it up and turn left. So I'm excited, and the team's working super hard right now, and we're getting all our spare car ready and the new car and everything already. So we're all prepared and ready to go for these next 10 days coming up soon.
How much time have you spent studying racetracks or talking with the team about, because I know that the team has been to some of these places?
Yeah. Dave said he's been there a couple of times, so he's got a little bit of a notebook for there. So for Skagit and Oregon and everything. And I've been watching videos and just trying to watch like what lines and stuff are on top or on the bottom, where it's at in qualifying, is it fast, just kind of just learning as much as I can over a video. But I think it'll be all right. I mean, it doesn't look like they're much faster or bigger than the tracks that I ran out here.
Well, now with me is Joel Myers Jr. Joel, we're headed to the fastest 4 days in motorsport, something that you partook in last year. So some of these racetracks that you're going to be running at in these next few days, you've seen before, and obviously the big wild card for so many teams is the Douglas County Dirt Track.
Yeah, definitely going to be, hard just going in there with no notes or anything from there, where Justyn and Holmes and them people have a kind of a little bit of a notebook from running 360s there. So just going to have to kind of go open and see, hopefully just guess on some right things and go from there.
Now, based off of last year, do you feel like with some of these racetracks you got a good base to start with, places like Medford, Lebanon, and Elma?
Yeah, definitely going to be a little different, though, now that we're in our own stuff, which I think will be a little better, Got a good engine package and good car package, good shocks. Just got to get some qualifying better, which we qualified pretty good at Willamette last year. So if we get qualifying better, then it makes the whole night easier and not trying to start from so far deep in the field. So just as long as we can qualify better, and then we start up front and just make the whole night easier on everybody.
And do you feel like going into this week that you and your team are gelling pretty good and are in a good rhythm, or got to tweak some things a little bit?
I feel like the team's good and everybody's been working hard. Just we haven't had the results to show it. Hopefully that can change around this week, to try and get through this week and get back to the Midwest a little bit. So hopefully this week turns around things like it did last year, where we were struggling really bad last year, and turned around things at their Cup. So hopefully we can do that again and just go from there.
Well, with me is Tyler Thompson. And Tyler, you're going to be one of the drivers of the Pacific Northwest defending some home turf. You're going to be at Southern Oregon Speedway, Douglas County Dirt Track, Willamette Speedway, and Grays Harbor Raceway. 4 facilities, part of this 4 fastest days in motorsports that you're pretty familiar with, but there's going to be some tough competition headed into town.
Yeah, actually, unfortunately, we're going to miss Thursday night at Medford. I got some college finals on Friday morning, so I won't be able to make that one. But no, we're real excited. I think Roseburg's obviously pretty even for everybody. We just so much laps there, and I think the track's pretty much changing every weekend. So they're working hard to get that one ready. But Lebanon, we've been at quite a bit and had some good success, had some struggles, and I feel like Elma's a place that we really love to race and are very good at. So we're excited. I looked at the entry list, and we got pretty much the top, say, 5 or 10 best cars on the West Coast coming, and I'd say 3 or 4 of those guys are probably top 30 in the nation. So I think it'll be a really good weekend of racing.
Your results so far this year, you've had some incredible stuff in the 360. You've had so many podiums and a couple of wins as well, to your credit. It really seems like you guys are in a good rhythm and in a good funk.
Yeah, we made a lot of changes this winter, and I think so far all of them have worked out pretty well. And I wouldn't say necessarily all of them were making us better, but I think it just got everybody really excited. And we've had a really good race team, I'd say, this year. And sponsors are really excited and having fun. And I think I'm having a lot more fun driving this year. Last year was a little bit of a struggle, but I think we've had some good runs. And the Marvin, we had some good cars here and ran really well with them. So we're pretty excited with our speed so far. We just don't have much 410 laps compared to some of these guys, but I think it don't matter. You just got to show up and race.
Well, if I remember right, last year, Elma, you guys had just a phenomenal run and was able to crack into the top echelon for the finishing order. I know you'd like to do that every single night that you managed to hit the track.
Yeah, I think last year, really the fastest 4 days in motorsports was, I consider them our first 410 starts. That was the first time we really got a competitive motor. So last year we were kind of really new to the 410 stuff and struggled really hard at Medford, and then struggled quite a bit at Willamette, and got to Elma, and I felt like we had a really good run, and had some motor issues on Monday before Dirt Cup, and then we ended up having one really good night at Dirt Cup and felt like a good Dirt Cup overall. So I feel like we've just kind of been building that 410 program and learning every time we hit the track. And we really, like I said, I think we only have about, I consider 10 real 410 starts. So we got a lot of learning to do, but I think this is a great week to do it.
That is going to do it for this edition of Inside NARC. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe and like these videos if you're watching on YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast wherever you find your podcasts. In the meantime, as mentioned, the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series will be in action Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the fastest 4 days in motorsports. If you can't watch it live in person, then check it all out on Flow Sports. For more information on the NARC 410 Sprint Car Series, visit narc410.com.